Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We have a lot of cool stuff going on. I gotta get into the game. They just opened up the doors, so give me a moment here and we will get going. I do have the developers right now. Everything for them is muted. I'm muted for them. And just waiting to get in. So we are in the process of getting everything done. Right, so let's see here. Good. Waiting for the game. Okay, excellent. In good progress. And so let's hope. The moving terrain. This game is really fun. On jungle here. I just have to find where the are. There we go. Excellent. That makes life easy. Right here, have Dave and Raph. So this is Raph's character, Dave's character. We'll be talking with them soon. It's gonna be very interesting, very cool. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask, go ahead and post a comment and I will ask the questions. See what's going on. So for those of you that don't know what Stars is, it is a space sci-fi MMORPG made by the guy who came up with a lot of the great gameplay mechanics in Star Wars Galaxies, them over. So this is just really interesting time. Have a bunch of other content creators here. We're gonna have Redbeard Flynn been around. We have Old Man who's gonna be on here. We have Romney and a few others that will be joining us. So here. Great to be here. So the normal Redbeard shenanigans. Yeah.
And who they're playing. So
I'll start.
Go ahead, Dave.
I'm Dave Georgeson. I'm the game director, and the character I'm playing is Kickster, Qixter.
You should say why it's Kickster.
Oh, because a long time ago I ran an arcade, and I really thought that the game QIX Kicks was an extraordinarily elegantly designed game. And then it also turned out that it was a perfect name to use on high score lists because you only had 3 letters to use and nobody used Q or X. So I was Kicks, and I was Kicks my entire career, except for a while I was at SOE and I was Smoke Jumper. But Kicks or Kickster or something like that has been my my moniker for a long time.
Cool. So I'm Raph, and I run Playable Worlds, and I've been making MMOs a long time, and Stars Reach is kind of the culmination of a lot of learnings and lessons over the years. And I'm in here playing Cornetto because my avatar has...
All right, I can go next if
Sure.
if no one else. So I'm Redbeard Flynn. I'm a content creator. Believe it or not, my name is because My beard is red. But I'm a huge fan of MMORPGs. First MMOs were Ultima Online and Star Wars Galaxy's EverQuest. And I've been playing MMOs for so long that I figured I might as well try and share my love of those MMOs. It's nice to meet you all. This is kind of a dream come true being on this stream. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And it's very nice to meet all of you. I'm excited to see the promise of Stars Reach and what it's going to be.
I'll go ahead and go. I'm Controlled Chaos. I am a YouTuber and streamer about games that have really good communities, mainly MMOs. Start off with EverQuest, PlanetSide, and Star Wars Galaxies, and just love online communities that are very positive. And then I also do game development, so I like to sort of give the knowledge of sort of the behind the scenes stuff in some of my videos of how developers might have done something or why they choose to do things a certain. And Stars Reach just really interests me for the pure simple fact of doing things that aren't the normal way that you see in most MMOs.
I guess I'll go next. I am Rami Noodles, a little under the weather, so my voice is different, and but that's okay. I've been playing Star Wars Galaxies for 21 years. I was originally playing on live, then I switched over to emulators. I make YouTube content, and I also stream. Very much looking forward to the spiritual successor to Star Wars Galaxies, which is Stars Reach, and the unique game philosophy that the Playable Worlds team has around it. So thank you for having me on. This is actually like a little kid meeting his heroes.
I see Fever is already digging holes under people.
Here I go. This is Old Man Observer. Been playing games since the Atari 2600. This is the first year I really kind of attempted to maybe do a little bit of streaming as much as I possibly can, with the idea that as I near retirement, this is something I probably will do full time, just for fun and just hang out with people while I'm playing games. And I picked a moniker that I felt would be more true every day that goes by, and kind of relate to a little bit. I will provide my observations, although I anticipate enjoying this game. If there are things I don't like, I'll be honest and provide the feedback as I see it.
Awesome.
And we'll be honest and say, yeah, we're gonna fix that.
Sometimes we might argue and say, well, we don't think it's something to fix. But
True.
Most of the time, I think we have a general philosophy that if a player says something's wrong, they may not be right about what the fix is, but you can't say that their experience that they had is incorrect, right? It is what it is, and that means you almost certainly have something to address.
Okay. Hi, I'm Circella. I just really love games and talking about them. I have a YouTube channel for now. I'm going to, I'm currently on Twitch. Hi, everybody. And I hope to stream more in the future, but I mostly just really love getting in and exploring new games and talking about them and seeing how they tick. And it's just really enjoyable. And again, I love Star Wars Galaxies. It was like one of the games that kind of changed how I saw games, because it was able to do things that other games weren't doing at the time. And I've just thought back on it for so long. So I'm so excited to be playing like a spiritual successor to it. And I'm really excited to see where this one goes.
I think a love for Star Wars Galaxies is very, very apparent.
Yeah.
In this.
Uh-oh.
And the mayhem already starts.
Yes, it did.
Well, are y'all on jungle or temperate?
We are on jungle.
Okay.
I'm getting
I'm on
worked
my
by
way.
ball hives right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
And one of them
no.
attacked and froze me.
oh no, I fell into.
I've already run away from things that are.
I got my first question. My hopper's full. And it's not intuitive of how I empty it or what I do with it.
Go to extractor on your terraformer tool and with the tab button, if that's what it's already on, and then just target a place and
Oh,
hit
so you got to
Q.
hit tab. Okay, tool mode, set to extracting.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
then I
then
just push it out
yeah, with Q.
with Q.
hmm
So I see we have Q and E. What's the difference between Q and E?
Basically, every tool in the game, you got these 4 tools over on the side, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 there. That's your loadout. You can swap that out when you're in camp or at your home. And, there's each tool essentially leads into a whole different skill tree of stuff that you can go learn and do things with, right? Each individual tool offers up a bunch of different capabilities, but we want to make sure that the interface for it all is reasonably consistent. So they all have a primary fire on the left mouse button. Some of them have a charge up effect when you hold down, primarily weapons. Hold down at left mouse button, and then on release, it will fire the charge up. And Q and E are kind of your special action keys. You may not have anything on Q and E until you level up enough and buy skills to put things on there. But virtually every tool has something that can go on Q and E. And some tools have multiple modes where they can do more than one thing. And if that's the case, you can hit tab to cycle through the different modes. And that will also change what Q and E do. So, for example, with the terraformer, you might be in the extracting mode, in which case you're digging. But as you level up, skill up in different trees, you can get things like terraforming and actually building with the materials that you extracted. Or prospecting mode, which allows you to do searches and so on. But everything pretty much. Tab for modes, Q and E for actions.
While you were explaining that, I went to go try combat. I found out how you can die in the game.
I found many
Great
fun
start.
ways to die in the game, and that's why I like.
So, I guess, do we have everybody here in the jungle now? Is everybody here?
Oh, I don't know where you guys are at.
There are
I'm
trees
lost.
near me. I
I'm
don't know.
just shooting
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm still at the spawn point.
Oh, I see Circella dancing there. I see Controlled Chaos. I see Kicks.
I'm big homesteading fan.
All right.
All right.
I
you're
have an
good.
immediate quality of life improvement suggestion. I
Okay.
absolutely need a sound control in this game. So I can't even hear you all when I'm shooting in this game because it's so loud compared to the browser voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we do not have that right now. The best
Yeah,
choice
I know.
is, the best choice is to actually adjust your Windows sound settings, right? Go to the volume mixer and just turn Stars Reach down. I did the same thing like 2 minutes ago when everybody was dancing.
Somewhere between 5 and 10% works pretty well. You can talk over that.
Okay, so you mentioned the Christmas tree earlier, I believe, Raph. Is that where y'all were?
Yes. Yeah, we are
Okay.
at the Christmas tree. Fever is actually standing atop it right now, pretending to be an ornament.
See,
Jumping.
I'm down in some canyon. I don't know where I am.
Are the trees around you mostly palm trees, or are you in like a deep sandy canyon with lakes?
I'm shooting at some ball hogs. Is that what that says?
Yep.
Oh, that sounds like deep sandy canyon with lakes.
That's right.
I mean,
You're on a
just
different
spawned a
planet
camp.
altogether. Yeah, you're on a different
Oh, shit.
planet from the rest of us. So,
Excuse
what
me.
we could do is organize a trip to go find you, and bring you into the group.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
So
A rescue mission?
that's
There
right.
you go.
That's right. Which, if he's lost in the Sandy Canyon, he needs it. Yeah. Everybody who's on Jungle, do we want to head over to the giant glowing portal that is over here? I'm guessing the one we'll need to. It is like a spiky gold thing right next to the blue beam. All right, so
spiky gold thing.
Yeah, so Stars Reach, I should explain a little bit about what we're about to do. Stars Reach is not set up as a single giant seamless map, because instead it's set up to be thousands of individual planets that are all, think of them as hyperlinked together. Eventually, we won't use portals like this. You'll go through takeoff and landing sequences with spaceships and spaceports and so on. When we go through this portal, we're going to end up in space. And then we're going to fly through space to another portal and go through that to land on a different planet. Right now in the pre-alpha, we've been testing with just a few planets. So we have this one, which is called Gaiamar, which is, we keep calling it jungle. It's really more semi-tropical. Yeah. There's a temperate planet that I'm going to forget the name of.
Rodin 4.
Rodin 4, that's right. And then there's a desert planet, which is quite a bit more dangerous than the others.
It's Roxa.
Yeah. So if all of you come over to the portal, and when you get close enough and hover over it, you'll see a little pop-up interaction that you can use G to use portal. And when you do that, you should go through the portal and then brief zoning, and then you'll end up in space. I will wait here for all of you to do that.
Let's see. I'm literally in space.
You are going to be literally in space. Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is amazing. Okay. I have not done this before. This is cool.
All right. So we are all on an asteroid. Let me give you some
sharks.
I don't know how to fly.
Yeah. So let me give you some very, very basics here. You can move about in zero gravity with WASD. Q and E are still going to be your specials, but you can use Control A and D to roll. So that'll give you some additional control if you're getting disoriented in zero G. Please note that flying around, you have inertia, so if you're not careful, you just fly away. I suggest all of you try landing on the asteroid.
Landing on the asteroid.
Landing on the asteroid.
Just smack into it.
Wait, which one?
The one the portal is on. Just smack into it. There you go. Now that you're here, you can walk. And you'll notice that there's actually localized gravity.
Oh,
the minute you jump off, though, you're going to float away again. So everything that works in the game on the ground also works in space. And Stars Reach is a world that's super, super malleable, right? Right now, if you're watching on the stream, people are digging holes in the asteroid and mining away and gathering materials, and they are earning experience points in mining. You can actually see that people have been chewing away at this asteroid for a while. That's because they're gathering rare minerals and materials and all of that. There's somebody, it's not on the stream, I don't think, or it might be on some, but there's the ability to heat up and melt stone and turn it into lava. You can freeze water. Water actually flows in this game, and so on. So we like to say it's the most alive game ever made. It really uses simulation to a degree that you haven't seen in other games. And all of that simulation works in space just as much as it does on the ground. And that includes the ability to even go as far as building homes and even cities out here in space, either floating in free space or on the asteroid.
So I made my way into space somehow.
Oh, you did? So you found a portal on Temperate?
I guess
on the
so.
Temperate planet. All right. That means you escaped the Sandy Canyon. Well, in that case...
Is there a map or something? No.
Yeah, you should be at that in a base. that right?
I see Lyric _mod.
Yeah.
I kill him?
I think you were.
I want to kill him.
Nah, you can't kill him. The
I'm
game
fighting
is
Sky
all
Sharks.
set up as PvE right now.
Let's see if I can terraform him.
See if you can terraform it.
Let's get worst game ever.
We have not coded in the ability to turn somebody into stone. So I suggested the group of us that's here on the portal, let's try to go on the asteroid. Let's try to go find them.
Okay, I think. Wait.
If we start
Kickster.
floating
I see
around.
Kickster. There we go.
He did
Yeah.
heal me up. I had like half wound because I was just fighting all those beholder looking dudes.
You want to head for the base that you should see. It's like a flat platform
Okay.
out there in space.
Oh.
Now
With,
we
like-
will get space flight and spaceships eventually, but we don't have them yet. So right now, people, right now they fly around in spacesuits.
Is there a pitch and yaw in space?
Pitch and yaw. Hold control for A and D, and you will pitch and yaw.
That would be Q and E would be awesome because that's what most games are like.
Yes, and the reason why it isn't Q and E is so that Q and
Because
E
you
are
have Q
open
and
for
E.
your,
Yeah.
for your specials everywhere.
Yeah.
And you will want to use your specials in space.
Key binding when?
Soon we hope.
Oh, and I found Old Man Observer. There's Cornetto.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
That's Raph, right?
I
Cornetto
see.
is Raph.
Yeah, I'm Cornetto. I see Redbeard, Flynn, and Controlled Chaos. Fever is on the underside of the structure, upside down.
No dual command. This is just
So this structure here is actually just built using the exact same tools that players can build with. We don't have a ton of assets in there yet to build with, but people are getting creative nonetheless. So now that we're here, we could all visit the temperate world that you came from by going through this portal.
Use the portal. There we go. Oh, bummer. I'll be back in a minute.
Did you crash?
No. We don't have crashes. This is just a little hiatus I'm taking.
A pre-planned break.
It's a temporary break. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-alpha.
Yeah, good time to remind people that this is in pre-alpha.
Yeah.
This is testing.
Definitely. I mean, none of these graphics are finished. Sound effects are still in works. A lot still to be done. You know, I mean, it's better than being in prototype, which is just nothing but cubes, spheres, cylinders, and stuff like that. So
I do want to say that I appreciate that when the first trailer came out and the colors were kind of like, very vibrant, and then you all very quickly went to a more muted color tone after feedback from people seeing the game for the first time, and that was very fast, that change.
Yeah, part of the reason it was very fast is that most of what we needed to address was actually shader code and not the actual art. It's kind of amazing how powerful shaders can be, right? If now that Kix is back in, maybe if he just jumps down and stares at the ground for a second from close up, you can see there's actually a fair amount of detail in there. But if you have shader settings set in particular ways, it can basically all get removed, get stylized, cell shaded, whatever. And we had at the time a ton of work to still do on lighting and the like. And as a result, everything was overbright, oversaturated, and a lot of this texture detail that was there all along wasn't actually visible. Our aesthetic target has always been a stylized, but stylized realism, right? We want the world to have a sense of, feeling real, not feeling cartoony. The avatars are probably the other thing that people think about and wonder about. We have more work to do on them. If you notice right now, all of the clothing is still, you're a bit over shiny. Everything is a bit over stylized still there. We're losing texture detail. So we've got work to do on that, but it's been happening in tandem with working on the character customization system, which will be as complete as games in MMOs usually are, with multiple layers of clothing, color customization, texture customization, all of that kind of thing. In fact, right now, we're actually randomizing the appearance of characters with random clothing in order to test out that things don't poke through different layers and so on. So customization is not yet fully in.
Now,
I am wondering if we lost Circella. I don't see her here.
So, what is your all's plan for like gravity? So, when I was out there in space, it would have been kind of nice that if I was close to the platform or somewhat near it or kind of even on it, that I would snap to it and go back to gravity. It was kind of actually awkward to try to get back into that portal because I was just on my head.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if you get close enough, you will snap and rotate.
I didn't. I'll have to show you the replay.
Yeah. I do know that if you approach it at a weird angle, like I found myself standing on the side of a stair
Yeah.
out there in space. So you do have to be careful about where you come in and land.
Yeah.
But it does actually work. It may not work perfectly, but you can actually snap onto the asteroids, and it actually works like Mario Galaxy. You can walk around the asteroids. They each have their own localized gravity field.
Yeah. Cool. So it's definitely true. I came in at an awkward angle, so that's a true statement.
Yeah, you actually curl up into like a little ball and then stand up straight, standing the correct way.
So how big is the development team for this game?
We've got folks who are full-time contractors, as well as people who are and part-time contractors, as well as people who are employed by the company. So I would ballpark it at 30.
At 30?
Okay. Yeah.
So your members, like your 3D modelers, also doing like the rigging, the skinning, the texturing, and stuff like that. You're not dedicating one person just to texturing, another one to 3D modeling, another one to rigging and skinning.
Yeah, the way the art pipeline is set up, you clearly know a lot about it. There are a bunch of different specialties there, right? Somebody who's expert in rigging may not be the best texture artist, and vice versa.
Yes.
So we have the art team set up so that we have one expert in each of the steps.
Okay, good.
and then people pinch hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have our expert environment artist, our expert rigger, our expert animator, and so on, right? But then they people will pinch hit, right? Pretty much all of them learned how to model and so on, right? That's part of becoming a professional artist in video games.
Yes, it is.
So that's pretty much how that works. We have the person who doesn't pinch hit as much. We do have dedicated concept art, right? Concept art, 2D work like that is not in the 3D pipeline, but the 2D pipeline. So some of the things that Kix is doing, I think, for anybody who is new to Stars Reach and doesn't know, basically everything in our world is simulated. And so Kix right now is digging a tunnel. You might think that is voxels, but it isn't. It's actually using an AI technology called cellular automata, which if you've played Noita, that's something that you might be familiar with. If you've ever played with Conway's Game of Life, the thing with the gliders flying around, that is also cellular automata. Every cubic meter of our world, okay, all of it is actually simulated that way live. And Kix, right now, whoever big time homesteading fan is, they're
me.
actually, you're doing something different. You're trying to dig through the dirt, right?
Yep.
And you can see the dirt is collapsing.
Yep.
And that's because every material knows its adhesion, its melt point, its freeze point. It knows how to form arches, how to slump and fall. If you start digging through raw dirt or sand, you're going to have a hard time tunneling, and it might collapse on you and kill you.
Yeah, I learned that a lot when I was doing my video about mining, the dangers of mining in Star's Reach, and finding out that when you get close to lava, you'll start taking heat damage and catch on fire. As you're dig just below sand, the sand will collapse and fall on you and can kill you and stuff like that. And I found that really interesting, that there's dangers to harvesting. And I immediately went, okay, I now have interest in wanting to do this for the fun and risk of it.
Yeah, we've already had people start figuring out things like if you are tunneling through mixed soils and rock, and you have a risk of cave-ins, there are things you can do in the game to actually shore up the sides of your tunnel.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't collapse on you. And that kind of thing is pretty important if you want to survive in the bowels of the earth.
I can see the guide videos after launch now. It's like how to conform to space OSHA rules and make sure your digging experience is as safe as possible. Might be too long a title, but I see it working.
Well, it's fantastic because so I played Enshrouded not too long ago, and one of the things that was the most fun was a friend burying me alive, because I had dug a hole in that game. So I can see lots of fun shenanigans in a game like this with stuff like that. I'll be honest, every time I've seen someone on a hill, I've been trying to dig underneath you so far, but my hopper is full, so I can no longer do that.
So you know how to empty the hopper?
I do not. How do I empty the hopper?
Okay, so if you there's probably a big time homesteading fan is doing it right now. They are dumping out the tailings. This is the loose gravel that accumulates.
Right, okay. Wow.
And as you do that, the way to do that, it's Q&E again, right? That will empty out your hopper. So what's happening when you're mining is you're cutting through the rock, turning it into nanoparticles, skimming the good stuff off the top, and you're left with this extra detritus behind, right? And you can then dump that out on the ground as these piles of gravel. Gravel is actually useful for other things. You can harvest the gravel in order to make roads, for example. And over time, we will be adding things like the gravel eroding back into dirt, the grass growing back over it, and the world will, nature is healing. It'll heal back up. So players modify the world in a whole bunch of ways, but in some ways they are rearranging it, not just modifying it. Meanwhile, Kickster has gone far away from all of us and is nowhere near us, merely digging in the bowels of the earth.
So I have a question because it's related to this. So when I just dumped my hopper, and I noticed it was kind of like reaching a limit and kind of like collapsing down. And like, is that just the weight of everything kind of like pushing down on itself and spreading out? Is that what's?
You mean the gravel?
Yeah, the gravel. Because I emptied the hopper.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, everything, cool. All the materials have a flow rate, and structural integrity values, and all of that. So, if you drop a pile of sand or a pile of dirt on the ground, it's going to collapse. If you did the same thing with rock, it won't.
Okay, so how deep do trees go? Because I'm trying to dig this tree out, and it just keeps going forever.
and depends on the size of the tree.
If trees fall over, can they kill you?
Right now,
when they can fall over, they will be able to kill you. But
okay, that's amazing.
Right now, the trees and stuff don't have gravity yet.
That is one of my absolute favorite things from Valheim was accidentally dying to trees that you were cutting down.
So
was a good
I can't shoot my extracting of the terraformer. So I'm on the edge of a cliff, and if I do Q, instead of it shooting out, it goes underneath me. That's disappointing.
You can shoot. You can aim where you want it to go. Are you using the free camera mode, MMO style, or are you using the reticle, the fixed mouse?
Reticle. So
Yeah.
if I want to shoot out, I gotta.
You don't have to, but it's a little easier, right? Because you can see better what you're doing.
I disagree. I'm not. Nothing's coming out.
Do you still have stuff
That's
in your
because it's
hopper?
empty. No, it's not. Yeah, no. If I don't aim, so I'm on the edge of a. If I aim at the ground, it doesn't come out. If I just aim out in the, just in the air, it doesn't come out.
No, it won't come out just in the air. You've got to target the ground for the pile
Yeah.
to land there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yep. Yeah, we don't yet have and honestly, I'm not sure we'll ever allow you to just dump a pile of gravel in the air over somebody's head. Like that might be a
Yes.
little too griefy.
Yes, that's why I was trying to see. I mean, that's why I'm going through seeing what can I do.
Yeah.
You said PvP was not enabled, but there is lava.
Right.
Yes.
There is lava here. That's right. So
And
yeah, with this malleable a world, one of the big things, and this was one of the first questions we got when we announced and started talking about this, was how are you going to make this game PvE and still have all of this stuff going on, right? And the answer to that is we do have a whole bunch of mechanisms that are meant to safeguard areas and so on. You can't directly damage people. We have that turned off. But environmental hazards can still absolutely cause damage and get you in trouble. So a big part of what we've been doing in the pre-alpha is watching the ways in which players use and abuse these tools in order to harm others, so that we can build in the safeguards, right? So Kix is in the skill tree, but if Kix comes over here, then folks on the stream can see the lava. And I guess on everybody else's streams, you're probably already seeing it. You can heat up every material in the game. You can also cool them all down. And that lets you melt and freeze things. And this is everything from melting rock into lava, which if I get too close, I'll catch on fire. There I am, I'm on fire. Luckily, it didn't last very long. For DOT damage, right? But it does more than that, right? In the real world, if you melt certain kinds of materials, when they come back, there'll be something else, right? They go through that's how volcanoes make new kinds of rock and so on. We've simulated all of that. If you melt sand, it's going to come back as glass. If you there's so many examples. Pretty much everything does that. So
how do you melt something?
So what you're gonna have to do?
There's two ways to melt. There's two ways to. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there is two ways to melt. So if you level up Ranger and you unlock the flamethrower in the Undertrail Blazer, that's one way. The other way is if you get Mineralogy XP by terraforming, you can unlock chronophasing, and the chronophasing is what lets you basically speed up time, reverse time, and also heat up things.
And what skill tree was that under?
Mineralogy. Yeah.
Mineralogy. Okay,
Yeah.
I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Chronophasing. Cool. All right. So I leveled up combat a little bit. I opened up the gravity gun recipe, and I can go to a camp and I can see it, but where do I actually make it? Do I make it in the camp?
Yes, you do. See these little tables? There's one that is the tool maker. There's
Oh, I
another
only
one.
have one table.
Oh, there's a camp right
So
near
I just
the lava.
have the stove.
Come over to
Okay,
the lava
I don't know.
where the lava was or is.
I never was there.
Oh,
Is there waypoints? Is there parties, group markers, things like that yet?
there are a couple of things like that, but most of us are noobs. I can't fire off a flare. Does anybody have a flare they can shoot?
I just fired
Oh,
off the
I see
flare.
it. Wow, that's cool. Now, see, that's neat. Instead
I
of just
unlocked
some
flare,
magical
but I'm not
waypoint
there.
line.
Hey, Redbeard Flynn, did you enjoy the molten hot?
Did. It was great.
That was really neat. Toolmaker. You got
So,
flares in the game.
Wait, what is that? What is the fire?
I just heard Circella say something, but I don't know where Circella is.
Oh, I said I unlocked the ability to put waypoints, but I'm not with the group, so I can't put one down.
Yeah, where are you? Come find us.
Vivir's trying to do some damage, dude.
Do
I
you
got
know
him.
where you are?
But if we do this, like the lava can go down into this, right? Oh my god.
I'm not, are you back on? Are you still on the desert planet or on the forest planet?
We are on the temperate planet. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm on the wrong planet. I will be there
Oh,
soon.
this tree is on fire too.
Yep, I just set a tree on fire.
I'm jealous everybody can
Oh,
make
you can
fire.
even hear it burning. Oh, there's flamethrower.
Yeah. So for the tree on fire, Kix keeps wandering off and doing other gameplay. I hope everybody else is getting to see the.
I was sorry. I'll stick with you. I thought you wanted Ranger stuff to be unlocked, so I was trying to get some points.
There's a forest burning down over here.
This is just chaos. It's kind of amazing.
So, all of our trees, if you are used to, even in games like Valheim, right? You are used by now. Everybody's used to being able to chop down trees, and you can burn trees in some games and so on. For us, every tree would be a mob in another game. Each of these trees is actually running AI. They change with the seasons. They grow. They get planted as seeds. They grow to maturity. They spread. So you're burning down this forest and clearing it away. Later on, you might regret it if you need wood. And other players, it's not unusual for them to come along behind you, filthy arsonists, and be harvesting the seeds or trying to put the fires out because they're like, no, wait a minute. We need these things. We need this stuff to be able to build other things. So we could come along. I see Tenkata Sentai is doing this. I'll join them. You can freeze the fire in order to try to put it out.
Okay.
And freezing is useful in other ways too, because you can do things like freeze the lava. Let's say you're over a lava pit, which do exist in nature on some of these worlds. Those you might need to freeze a path across it, turn it into solid stone again in order to navigate.
Now, what happens when you freeze water?
It
Can you
turns to
actually do
ice.
that? And,
Yeah.
And what
I'm gonna-
happens with?
yeah.
I want
Can I
to
answer
go
that?
off what happens when trying to stand on that ice.
Well, let's go over to the canyon and play with the water and fight some ball hogs and stuff.
You said fighting things. I'm there. It sounds fantastic.
It's right over here. You just got to go downhill. Danger awaits.
Yeah. That's where I was at before. I
Fall
was killing a whole
damage is
bunch
on.
of them.
Yes, fall damage is on.
I've noticed the fall damage is very generous, though.
It is pretty generous. And
Currently.
you haven't unlocked all of these things yet, but we have climbing. Everybody gets climbing. Just jump at a cliff face. Jump at a tree. You can climb all the trees too.
Wait.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. You also can unlock a grappling hook.
Well, the
And
grappling
you
hook
can-
is so fun.
Yeah, I want that.
You can grapple all over the place, and then you can also unlock a grav mesh. The grav mesh will give you the ability to fly in bursts.
Whoa, whoa.
I got stuck climbing trees. I got lost.
Can
from
you
everybody.
drown? Let's see if we can
I
drown.
lost you going downhill.
Oh,
Are
you
guys
can't
in the canyon
drown.
yet?
Let's see. I see. Oh, there's
yeah,
a
I
hole.
see you. Oof.
When can you drown? Because I can't drown.
You can't drown right now.
I see you. Oh wow.
We've
there's-
Not
been
at the moment.
We've been working on underwater is planned to work actually fairly similarly to space. So you'll be
Yeah.
able to swim
Underwater
around in
world,
full 3D. Yeah.
That's
So
gonna be cool.
that's our plan. So space is kind of acting as
Whoa.
our prototype for eventual underwater.
So the ice clearly makes it slick. That is
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Oh, look, come on. Let's freeze this lake. Let's get some ice rink going on here. When the hockey sticks coming in?
Oh, I
So
like
then,
how it melts.
Yeah, it seems to be melting. I guess because the lake is too warm.
We need to
right?
freeze the planet,
Yes.
guys.
Could you potentially freeze an entire planet? Would
You
that be a
don't need
possibility
to.
for people?
You don't need to. The seasons are going to do it for you.
Okay, that's fair.
No, we went Hoth all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
We can
there
do
will
that
be,
too.
There will be planets that are frozen ice balls. There will be hell planets where it's lava everywhere. There's going to be lots of combinations.
Will Anakin
Yeah,
be on
and-
the lava planets? Just waiting for
I
you?
am, yeah, I am not sure where all of you are, but I am now down in the sandy area, and I am surrounded by dangerous, aggressive creatures.
I see.
If you guys step right over here, watch out!
I have to get there without dying. I'm worried I'm
I
going to
dragged
train all
I,
these
dra-
guys
I
on.
dragged the mobs over to the guys.
Are these blowing up the ground? No.
They are, yes.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why
They're
there's so
one-
many
in fact,
explosions?
One
the
thing I
ground
realized-
you see here, all the green stuff,
There you
that's
go.
glass from their heat attacks.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh,
that's one
wow.
thing I really like about the combat is like they have like elemental properties to the actual projectiles. So when you're fighting around sand and they're using heat projectiles, you're going to notice it all turns to glass, and it's going to stay that way unless someone comes about and either harvests it or chronophases it or terraforms it in some way. So you'll be able to see where the history of a battle was.
Ooh, I just saw a
amazing.
green sign just pick up, and one of the people pick up that green symbol. Are mobs dropping like buffs and stuff like that?
Yes, they are.
All right, let's get this
so-
Roach Master, guys. Come on, let's get him.
Oh, Roach Master, yes.
Let's get him.
What is this? Oh, jeez.
So, as you can see, it's fairly action arcadey combat.
Got him.
Oh,
Wait,
it just
what?
spawned a bunch of bunch of little ones.
So you can see right there, Control Chaos just picked up that purple power up.
Oh wow.
The creatures, as you shoot them, can drop power ups: invulnerability,
Okay, yeah.
speed up buffs, jump buffs, heals, and so on. It's
Wow.
very actiony combat. While we're here for just a minute, just to demonstrate, you can see me moving back and forth, right? I can do
Mhm.
that. If I hold down Control, I've got dodge rolls.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
that's cool.
So you got that. You've got jump, of course. Once you have grappling and grav mesh, there's a whole bunch of capability there as well that you can use during combat for active evasion. Many of the larger creatures will signal what they're doing. Actually, you saw it right there. See that red circle on the ground? That is them
Oh, yeah.
signaling, right? I just got frozen. They can root you using cold attacks.
Yeah, that's one
And
thing
if
I
those
found
cold
in the
attacks hit the
game.
lake, it's going to make ice in the lake.
That's the one thing I found in the game when playing, that different ball hogs do different things. You have ball hogs that freeze, other ball hogs that do fire damage, and other ball hogs that throw ball hogs that fly to you and they explode.
Old man, get out of the lava!
old man observer, get out the lava.
You can create steam by heating up the water. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I'm frozen in midair. Oh, that's cool. I did a hero pose. Okay, I just got a supercharge all stats maxed. Oh, I'm really fast now.
Oh,
Now,
oh,
if
tell
you
me.
take a look
So-
at the lake, somebody here has been using the heat beam on the lake, and you can see the
It's like
water there is
steaming, yeah.
turning to steam
Wow.
and floating away.
It's a battle. There's ice and fire going into the lake right now.
So this is what we mean by most alive. Everything is simulated this way.
Oh wow.
You can actually see a whirlpool forming there.
So, Raph, you said you could change the volume using Windows, but how do you change the volume in an individual program?
If you click on the little speaker icon in the bottom right, and you right-click on it, you'll get Troubleshoot, Open Volume Mixer, and Sound Settings. Click Open Volume Mixer, and you'll scroll down, and you'll see a list of all your apps.
This is. I don't think I've seen this before. Stars Reach. Yeah, we got to turn that down. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Even some of my viewers are like, "Man, this is too loud."
That's where I adjusted my game volume separately.
This is actually my first time seeing the new Steam. Before y'all changed it when it was just water in midair. Now it's Steam, and it looks so good.
Help.
It looks really nice.
Is Raph dying?
Yes. I need.
We're just looking at the Steam. Raph's dying.
Hey, there's a Horde Master over there. Y'all want to try to kill the Horde Master?
Yes.
I've leveled up enough.
Answer's always yes.
I'm on my way.
I'm gonna run to the camp. You can unlock your skills only when you're in camp.
Hang on a second, guys. Let me throw a camp upstairs. Oh, if I get upstairs.
Upstairs. There's one down in the canyon where we all are.
Oh, danger!
Not doing nothing.
I was gonna put one up here.
Oh, I got double.
There we go.
Super
So that's a good opportunity to explain death. If you die, which you will, which Kix just did, I guess. You are going to go back to the last camp you checkpointed at. So it's pretty much a checkpoint system. If you have gathered anything since your last checkpoint moment, then it's going to be left behind where you were. So checkpoint often, right? Players have the ability to build these camps. You can set them up. You can use anybody's camp out in the wilderness. You use them as forward bases, right? And you also can take wounds, and right now, in order to heal the wounds, you got to hang out in the camps, and other people have to dance, which is straight out of Star Wars Galaxies, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And for the if you type /emotes, you'll actually see you are not limited to just this dance. We got the Roomba, we got the salsa, we even have the chicken dance for you. So
chicken dance is amazing.
Eventually, entertaining will be a full profession, just like it was in Galaxies. But in the meantime, we've stubbed it in just so that the loop actually works. But that only works in a home or in a camp.
That's one of the things that has been lost, I think, from MMOs since Star Wars Galaxies, is that the entertainer and the wound system and how all that works. That's awesome to hear.
Now, I understand that a lot of stuff is going to be player made. To keep the economy going, are objects in the world going to have, like, items going to have a durability to it, like your weapons, your clothing, stuff like that?
Everything will. Everything will decay. Everything will have that kind of... it's the only way to make the economy work, right? Stuff has to break. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Also, all the goods are player crafted. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm gonna. Oh no! I'm so gonna die. Help!
I got you. I got you.
No.
Wait, no, I'm frozen. I'm frozen in a hole.
Running for it.
I'm dead.
You never know where you.
Wait! Don't release! Don't release! Where'd you go?
Don't release.
Where'd you die?
I'm in a hole.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's actually what got me. I fell in a hole. I was trying to climb out. I was defenseless while I was climbing out. Let's recover.
Someone in my chat wants to know if there's melee weapons coming.
I was about to ask that question too, because
the answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
That's great.
Yeah,
that makes me very happy.
We're looking at about 15 weapon types overall. There will be, this is the plan. We've got a bunch of range types. We have indirect fire weapons, not just direct fire. So think things like archery and grenades. Those will have arcs to them. And so the charge shot mechanic is going to be very important for those because it'll determine your range, right? We plan to have heavy guns that you can barely move that are more like turret style, and run and gun stuff and sniper rifles and all of that jazz. The way that we're making that work from an RPG point of view, because this, people on the stream might be watching and going, wait, is this like just a survival game? No, it is not. It is a full-on MMORPG with all of these in skill trees and RPG progression. So we have all of the standard things you might expect: status effects, dots, vulnerabilities, resistances, all of those kinds of things as skills that you can unlock. Way more than just 2 special moves per weapon type. You get to choose which ones to map to your Q and E based on your playstyle preference. So
that's awesome.
There's also a bunch of combat things, like, for example, Combat Engineer. We can take advantage of the fact that we have this malleable world. Combat engineers can lay down the equivalent of bunkers and defenses on the fly in the world, made out of force fields and the like, that erode over time as they get hit. They can drop down the equivalent of minefields on the field, also using damaging force fields. There's a weapon type that none of you currently have, since you went for the gravity gun. The gravity gun is a crowd control weapon. It slurps things into a singularity or blows them apart from it. So you can use that to pull enemies together for AoE attacks and the like. There's someone. Control Chaos has the one I was going to reference. That's the drones, the drone orbs there. Those eventually you'll be able to direct to fly off after targets and shoot at them for you. And so right now they're hovering around you. CC, do you happen to have any specials for that yet?
I do. I have both of them unlocked. The Q, which I just set off, and then the E. And I've actually played around with this, and the E is really cool because whenever mobs got close to me and I hit E, all those missiles would go into that mob, and so it was sort of like a nice protective barrier.
It also intercepts projectiles, so it acts as like a baby shield for you.
Oh, that I didn't know, because when I was thinking of shields, I was thinking of like this shield that I just put up right here, which is Fortress Shield that I really liked, which gave some defenses. And the fact that this other shield that you have that I have yet to play around with, which is the Reflective Shield. Now, that Reflective Shield, will it actually directly send whatever missile attacks come at you back to the enemy, or will it be randomly projected to a direction?
There's 2 answers to that. One of them is if it's a non-homing shot, it'll bounce back in the direction that it came from. So if the attacker is still there, then it would hit the attacker. But if a homing shot is hitting you and it hits the shield, it actually homes back at the attacker.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool.
Now, the other thing to keep in mind is those shields do not help you against AoE attacks. So if there's damage or melee or whatever it is, the shield only works against projectiles. So you have to watch out for those attacks.
So my question then is do you guys have other shields plans for things like AoE and like melee attacks?
Yeah.
We have I don't remember exactly. There was 5 different types of shields. We only have 2 of them implemented, and we're not done. It's an MMO. The beauty of an MMO is we're never done.
And that's what I really like about MMOs is the constant add-ons to it. I mean, the only time I really sort of stop playing an MMO is when they stop adding stuff to the game and all you're doing is the same thing over and over again and there's nothing new.
So I got a skills question. So I've gotten quite a bit of combat. I've opened gravity gun recipe, black hole bomb, boomer, stuff like that. Are there other innate skills like plus 10 melee defense, plus 10 range defense, or these are it? And
not
if that
yet.
makes any sense.
Whoop, lock out, inbound. Where are they? I see them aiming at us.
I hear bombs in the distance.
Yeah. So there is also in the design a whole long set of what we call combat tactics professions. And each of those is also an entire skill tree. You might have noticed already while shooting that you get kill streaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Combat tactics lets you build streaks out of defense, healing, evasion, absorbing damage, dealing damage, dealing kills, and so on. There are essentially play style profession tracks. So if you are a tank, you can play with the weapon of your choice, but also learn the skills that unlock new capabilities based on damage absorption, right? So that you can choose to play in the tank playstyle without being tied to which weapon you like. So that is the place where so many of the kinds of things you just mentioned end up living, is in combat tactics.
So I have this black hole bomb, and when I didn't have it, I could mouse over it and it gave me a little text. But now that I have it, I no longer can get that additional text.
Yeah, which is a UX bug on our part that we need to fix.
And then just to be greedy right now, I want to do a black hole bomb. What do I got to do that? I can't figure this out.
It will be on Q or E.
It would be on Q, I think.
Like when? What gun do I need to hold? Do I need to hold some gun? Or
You need to hold the gravity gun.
The gravity gun, yeah.
so I got to make me a gravity gun first. Okay.
And it looks like there's
Is that-
a cool thing here if you want to make it.
There is. I need the ingredients.
So the question I have is, when I was using the Omni Blaster, I had an easier time hitting enemies compared to the drone.
That's right.
One of them like an actual lock-on type of attack, and the other one is directional?
Yes. So conveniently, we have some enemies coming here over the lake.
Yeah,
I've got the Omni Blaster out. If I start firing, you will notice that the Omni Blaster, the shots will curve towards the enemy as long as they get reasonably close. So these have homing shots. The Omni Blaster uses homing bullets. And it's particularly impressive and really easy to see if you use Doom Blossom, which is one of the specials. When I fire it out, you get that ring of shots. All of those will actually go follow and chase the target. Other guns don't have that. We have the ability to make some things have homing, some not. Different strengths of homing can be the output of your crafting capability. Every weapon in the game can actually be customized. Its stats varied. Add-ons put on it in the crafting process.
So one of the questions I have that I think is tied to, like you talked about the gravity gun being a control, like crowd control, and I noticed that there's a healing gun as well, and the Omni gun is a DPS gun. So will there be roles, like group role type things, and will there be content that you want to group up together, like this thing right here, to fight and have like different class roles and class interdependency? So you want to bring someone that's spec'd a special way to do things like that.
Yes. So we mentioned how you currently have your loadout over there on the right. You've got your 4 tools max. Think of that in kind of modern parlance. That's almost like your 4 jobs, right? If you try thinking about it in kind of a Genshin-y or Final Fantasy kind of way. You can swap those out at a camp, but once you leave base, that is what you are. Okay, those are the roles you've chosen. If you want a solo, you put together a loadout that is a solo-friendly loadout. If you're with a group, you put together a loadout where you've got interdependencies with the other folks that you are playing with. So we're trying to make this, look, we're realistic about where MMOs are, right? They historically have required way too much time. The audience has aged up along with, I'm older than I once was. And,
I feel personally attacked.
People have kids, people have lives and jobs. And, if you're making an MMO in the modern day, it's got to A, be solo friendly. B, it's got to be something that you can hop in and out of pretty readily, have fun in a short session and be able to hop back out. Okay? And it still has to support people hanging out for hours and hours and having fun. So that's really core to our design philosophy, right? It's really important that we support all of that. So this loadout system lets you, the player, decide, how do I want to play in this session right now? And it leaves that control up to you. There are absolutely, especially more so on the desert planet than here, there are absolutely boss level enemies where if you don't have a healer in your group, you're in real trouble. If you're fighting enemies that root, let's say they've got the freezing, you really want somebody who can heat you back up, okay? And so on. And so, and you can't do that yourself, right? So there are absolutely loads of mechanics that are designed to encourage party formation. But we've tried really hard to make it something that players are generally opting into as much as possible. In fact, I see I'm getting healed up right now by Controlled Chaos using the healers.
I see right here. Yeah.
So, we're trying to do this in such a way that it can accommodate this tricky design goal, right? Let players play the way they want and enjoy, and not force them down these super narrow paths that then limits who can actually play and have fun. We want everybody to have fun.
So right now you're doing these targeted play sessions. Do you have any idea of a time frame when you look to be maybe having a more persistent world that people can hop on from time to time whenever they want, even to just test?
Oh, am I allowed to talk about this?
You don't have to. You can just say we don't know the answer.
It may or may not be a pleasant holiday surprise for some people that maybe they might get to play for longer than 2 hours.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
May or
We'll
may
see
not.
how many lumps of coal show up.
So, and these buffs,
Are we
these buffs seem very powerful. And so, like, we're talking about like the coordination, because that's like a lot of my audience is going to be interested in that part of it, the grouping up together and playing together to accomplish goals. So, like, is this like these kind of buffs? They're gonna be? They seem pretty powerful right now, but we maybe want like certain classes or certain specializations, loadouts to pick them up, certain things, or are they all going to be just kind of like they'll help everyone kind of thing?
The buffs are meant to help everyone.
Mm-hmm.
They're essentially public, right? So anyone nearby can grab them. They are there in part to help make action combat more interesting, right?
Yeah.
The specific design problem there is we don't want combat strategy to devolve into running backwards and kiting away, right? So buffs, and for that matter, the loot drops are meant in part to entice you back into the line of fire, right? But different buffs will absolutely be more useful to individuals in your party, specific ones at a specific time. So if you're going to coordinate, so-and-so really needs the heal, let me give them cover while they run in and grab it, right? That's the kind of emergent dynamic that we're trying to develop.
Awesome.
So I need to find some gemstones and some other resources like tungsten to make this gravity gun. Are there things in game to help me know where to find those types of things? Like, where would I look for gemstones, and how would I know where to look for gemstones?
There are. I'm about to die again. No, there we go. They're in the mineralogy tree. There are prospecting skills. And you can, right now, they only work short range, but they will work long range. And then you'll be able to do larger scale searches. Oop, Tenkata Senkai is in trouble. There we go. We could actually leave this periodically deadly area.
Periodically deadly.
and
It doesn't help that there's like lava on the ground now too.
That's from them, right? That's from them, and it's also quite hot. And walking on this molten glass is setting me on fire. So maybe we should head back out of the canyon and go explore a bit, and we can see if we can find you some of those gemstones.
Let's go up here.
I finally caught up with everybody.
Yay!
Yay!
Cinderella!
Perfect timing.
Now I don't want
Now
to
that
say
we're
anything, but I
leaving,
see a
right here,
big old
yay.
boss. Wait, there's a horde master. Is that fun
Yeah.
to kill? There's a horde master.
Yeah. So this
Let's
is
go.
my chance to show off. Let's wave to Circella and bow to greet her, and we can emote is happy to see you, and we can think. I even think so.
I'm
So
gonna
we
drag this
have
horde
all
master.
of the chat bubbles and emotes and moods and the kinds of things that you saw in Galaxies. So
Go to the top of the Winter Mountain.
Well, first there's a horde master, and then we'll go.
Yeah,
to
I'm
top.
dragging it to us.
Oh, jeez.
I'm dragging
Someone
it.
just
I'm
got
bringing it.
suicide bombed. Old man observer just got suicide bombed by the ball hog. I love that ball hog.
Oh, I see the horde.
Man after my own heart.
Yeah.
so there's a camp here. Checkpoint first.
Checkpoint first. Okay.
Oh,
Look out! Some of
Suiciders.
these have these green
Who's
guys
going-
are
Oh,
dive
suicide!
bomb explode.
Oh, they're bombs. They're bombs that are going into the camp.
Yep, there's another one.
Immune to on fire.
Yeah. So if you use the flamethrower or lava beams on these guys, you could catch things on fire. Except the ones that are immune. So
Oh man, look at all this fire. What in the world?
Horde.
Horde lords.
So second phase.
yeah, one thing that might be worth mentioning right now, actually, there are players playing this on Steam Deck in
wow.
the test right now, because it is fairly actiony and controller friendly. So your audience might like to know that it already works on Steam Deck.
That's great.
We haven't gotten it verified or anything yet. The testers actually figured it out and just mapped it and did it. Oh,
I can see how the
I'm-
controls would be really good on Steam Deck.
All right, let's get out of here. And oh boy,
Dare I say
That's
that was
cool.
controlled chaos?
so if
He
you
said
head
the
up
thing.
this hill over here, follow me this way.
There's Kickster. Right, there we go. Okay. There's Raph.
We can navigate up this way.
Is there any way to get your character facing straight again? Oh, there he goes. He always wants to go sideways. Is my dude missing an arm?
You look like you're walking backwards on mine, or you're running backwards on mine.
He's walking
Yeah,
backwards
we
on
got-
my screen too, and he's missing an arm.
At least it's consistent.
It's just a flesh wound.
Put your tool away or switch to fixed reticle, and it should be fine.
So don't
Yeah,
corner the deer; they will get pissed off if you. Let's climb this
Oh,
cliff.
I shoot all the deer.
Climbing the cliff. Was
Now
someone just
you'll
use a
notice-
grapple hook?
Yeah, that was me.
Good for you. You might notice your yellow bar down below. That is your stamina bar. It works just
Yeah.
like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the
Yeah, I
Wild
run
is a
out
huge
all the time.
inspiration for us. You know, when we figured out, wait a minute, you can cram an entire sandbox into a game with no HUD. That was one of the big things that said to me, oh, wait, we can actually make an MMO that feels like you don't have 20 billion individual buttons on screen, you know? Something that feels more accessible. I'm going to checkpoint over at this camp again. That
Where's
way
the camp?
it's...
So these camps, do they kind of just like work a lot like camps in SWG? That might have been mentioned
They
before.
do,
But
they do.
that's what.
Yeah,
remember.
the Trailblazer tool.
Yeah.
Turns out there's enemies here. Owl deer. Those of
Owl
you
deer.
streaming, those of you streaming might want to get in close and see their faces. They're cute.
Right now they seem vicious.
They are vicious too. It's possible to be cute and vicious.
Are you going to make the camps look cool like Star Wars Galaxies? Because they were awesome.
Yeah, right
Rest of the
now
large
they're very bare bones right now, right? They function. Right now the tool stations come for free. You're gonna actually have to craft and place
Oh,
those.
they are cute. Oh my god.
Now I'm noticing that the mobs are just dropping resources. They're not dropping any equipment. Is that gonna be the way it is for the game, and that everything has to be player made for equipment, or are the mobs actually gonna be dropping some equipment?
By and large, they are going to drop raw materials and resources. There may be some mobs that are like magpies and gather up other stuff and take it back to their lair, and you might find a pinata of stuff in their lair.
Oh, that's
Okay.
interesting.
Layers is something that those of you who played Galaxies may be familiar with. Here, we aren't seeing them on this planet. They are more visible on the desert planet. They're known as makers, and I'll have to give a little bit of lore for everybody in order to explain some of this. But long ago, an incredibly powerful ancient alien civilization that we called the Old Ones terraformed this entire arm of the galaxy for use in their genetic engineering experiments. So we basically live in a zoo, and we are zoo animals. They made us, okay? Not just all these weird creatures. So you should expect that out here in the galaxy somewhere, there will be dragons and unicorns and things out of our mythology, as well as weird alien tentacle beasts and sky sharks and even the things that they didn't intend to make, known to the rest of us as the aberration, the corruption, right? They also left behind robot servitors who are tending this place, even though the old ones are long gone. Now, something chased the old ones away. We don't know what. We should be properly terrified of that idea, since they basically were godlike. But we don't know what led to their disappearance at all. So that is something left in the lore as a secret for us to figure out. Now, all of us have gone and ruined our homeworlds. They made a bunch of different kinds of humanity, but the different sorts of humans have all managed to take their planets to the brink of nuclear war, peak oil, climate change, global glaciation. You know, some of them might even have be dying off to global pandemics, as implausible as that sounds. And so it is that the servitors, because they're under orders to keep all of the different species alive, have decided to allow us out from our worlds. They showed up, they've granted us technology, they're letting us run lotteries for immigrants to leave Earth and leave the homeworlds of the other planets and set out further into the galaxy. And we have now formed the Transplanetary League in order to do that, and essentially try to do better by these planets than we did with Earth.
So one comment, looks like we're running this world too, by the way, not just
That's right.
Everything's on fire.
That's right.
Seems like we learned nothing.
Eventually, this planet is going to have a health bar. And it is going to be up to you, the players, whether you take care of it or not. And if we should try to get up to the icy mountain, but if we head back over to jungle later, the jungle world, Gaiamar, you will see what happens when players work together to take care of a world instead of just destroying it.
One more question. Can I get cancer in this game? Because I'm loading up a bunch of uranium.
Right now, the uranium that you just found does not yet do AoE damage, but it will. And you should also expect that mining it may release clouds of toxic radon gas.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's gonna
because
be
we
sick.
can do that. Yeah.
So I noticed that all of the mobs we've been fighting are basically just creatures. Will there be humanoid enemies to fight?
So this is not really a game that is about having loads of NPCs, right? If we did that, that uses up spaces for the players take roles, right? We want players to be the shopkeepers in the game. We want the players to be the governments of the planets in the game. And if we handed that stuff off to NPCs, we'd be taking away some of that from players. So it's not really an NPC-focused game. That doesn't mean that we can't have NPCs in the form of points of interest, specialized quest content, dynamic events, and all of that kind of thing. All of that stuff is absolutely doable and possible, but you should think of this as you are adventuring onto virgin worlds that are uninhabited, most of it.
Is there
That was
some
gonna be a
plan?
question I had too, so that's good.
Yeah. Is there some plans to do something with the waste? Because I feel like, you find a good spot and either you got to run very far away to dump your hopper or you got to make the area by you ugly. I wish there was another option for this waste.
There aren't yet, but there will be. And actually, over on the Jungle Planet, players have started coordinating where their town dump is and where they use the gravel pit. And people have started figuring out, we don't want to mess up the way our town looks.
Yeah.
We plan a politician profession that actually lets politicians zone the map of a planet and say, this is where roads can be. This is where you are allowed to mine. Then players will be able to either vote for politicians to run their planet, or if the planet chooses to set it up as a dictatorship, they can do that too.
Ooh, sounds
We're
fun.
going to, we're going to hand over the choice of how to structure the government and how to run the planets to the players, because we can create new planets on the fly. We can add new worlds anytime during live. The reason why this is not a seamless quilt of a map is so that we can add new worlds, open up new wormholes, open up new space zones, and add entire new planets. Mm-hmm. And if people wreck a planet and never go there anymore, the wormhole can collapse and we can lose it off the map entirely.
Oh, okay.
So it's a very different model from traditional MMOs in that sense. So that is also, by the way, why we can allow every player to have in-world homes, because we don't have a real estate problem.
So with all this player interaction and everything like that, and so like say you have one of those old planets, would it be possible like to have like things that age? So if it gets ignored, so like they have like all these player built settlements, and then maybe like months or even years down the road, you go find a planet and it turns out that it had been inhabited, but it's no longer inhabited by players. And so can it change into like revisiting player history that has been built up, but and maybe has like maybe new NPCs have come into it, like there's new things that have grown into it, new you've got all the grass and stuff that grows. I don't know if I'm quite getting what I'm trying to say here, but basically reuse old stomping grounds for players for new things, I think.
So this is where the power of the simulation really shines. Okay. Our water flows, our grass grows, bare patches of dirt can with time become overgrown back into fertile areas. Forests regrow and spread. If you chop down every single tree, then you might end up with a planet that cannot recover. But you know what? You can go bring a tree from another planet to this planet and start seeding the world and Johnny Appleseed your way across and grow the planet back. Players can bring planets back to life. We also erode things all along the way. You may not have noticed, but when you were down by the water, you might have seen that the shoreline had mud and silt and dirt. We didn't put that there. The simulation, the water rubbing against the stone, did that. So if players leave ruins behind, over time, they can get overgrown. They can end up turning into, overgrown, abandoned ruins and eventually disintegrate.
Very cool.
So basically what you're saying is if someone puts down a house, builds a brand new house, and then quits playing the game, you can go back to that person where they put the house, and instead of it being a fresh, nice looking house like you normally see, it's an overgrown, ruined house instead.
That's exactly right.
Oh.
How do you maintain your house? I mean, just visiting it, keep it from being overgrown, or what do you got to do?
There will, we haven't settled on the exact cost, but there will probably be an in-game credits cost, basically, right? Like maintenance fees. Because again, it is super important that everything in this game economy have ongoing costs, right? That everything decay. there are a whole host of mechanics. Watch out for sky sharks if you haven't discovered them already. There are a whole host of mechanics that we've done in order to try to make sure that we keep that economic balance. So I'll name one of them. In most MMOs, as you level up, you pick up more recipes. And then, oh look, somebody's learned how to chop down trees and is logging some of these big trees over here. If you pick up new recipes, we actually work your recipe book like a CCG. You're deck building your recipes. So your recipe book is going to have a fixed volume of recipes that when it's maxed out. As you level up, you can expand that max and so on. But the goal is there's no way for any one person to have all of the recipes. And that way, newbies who join the game will still have a market for the newbie level goods, because the high level players are going to move up to the higher level recipes because they want to build spaceships now instead of cogs. We are doing so many things like that in this game, where we really took a hard look at the mistakes that MMOs have made in terms of in-game economy, in-game balance, and so on, and really tried to reinvent how a lot of stuff works.
How's your plan to make adjustments, though? Because obviously, you know that stuff's hard to balance out, right?
Oh, I know that better than most people.
Oh, no.
For the viewers who don't know, if you have ever crafted in a game, it is my fault. If you've had a pet in a game, it is my fault. If you have had a house in a game and decorated it, it is my fault. All of those systems pretty much originated with Ultima Online. Fishing, there's just loads of things that UO was really the first big game to bring those things to a broader audience. So yeah, the first player-driven economies in MMOs, that was me. So we're paying a ton of attention to how to do this, how to balance it. You know, we need to pay super close attention to it, have detailed metrics on it all, and we are really, really trying to focus on having it be balanced and something that can last a really long time. You know, UO is still running after 26 years. And yeah, its economy went to shit multiple times in the intervening period. But, you know, it is possible to revive it and bring it back. You just have to be an active steward of the game, right?
Let me rephrase the question. So inflation always seems to be a difficulty in all MMOs. And so when a new player joins, it's like, oh, I'm so far behind. What are your, if any, specific plans of controlling inflation for new players when they join?
You have to essentially centrally manage the amount of currency that is in the game, right? Players are making the items. We control the outflow of resources and so on, via drop rates. But if you manage the monetary supply, very much like the Fed does, right? That is the way that MMO economies work. So that's what you have to keep an eye out for. And that's really your primary control.
So how is that going to work with like if there's a crafters that might have a disproportionate amount of the game resources versus like people that focus on PvP or something?
Your primary inflow is going to be new entrants into the game, because we're going to have to seed them with credits, right? The outflows of credits are all over the place. There's housing, there's item decay and replacement that you need to pay for, and so on. So there's all kinds of what we call sinks in the economy. I see a bunch of people made it to the top of the mountain. They're going to ice skate off the cliff, and I'm nowhere near you all. I've literally been treed by some owl deer. They are literally running around the bottom of a tree I climbed, trying to get me.
Some resources cannot be found by mining. Sometimes you have to earn them through special quests. Sometimes you have to get them from creatures. There's all kinds of different things that you have to do to get different resources. So it's the different folks that do the different roles and stuff in the game actually come up with things that not everybody else can get. So there's definitely reason to trade and barter and move goods back and forth between players.
Yeah. To get us all to the top of the mountain, can I suggest we do a quick roll call and then you summon anyone who hasn't gotten there yet?
Yeah, I think I'm not entirely sure where to go.
Who's not here?
Redbeard.
I'm not there.
I am not there.
Oh, there we go. Oh.
What's your name, Ursula?
Cersela, Cersela.
Oh, this is cool.
Oh, she almost fell off the edge. Who else is not here?
Chaos.
Big homesteading fan.
Oh yeah.
There.
Basically, we lost everybody on the way to the mountain.
Essentially, yes.
Is there a space in your name?
I think so. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Oh man,
Hey, we're on ice.
Yeah, so this is worth talking about too.
Old man,
In
what?
other games, there are biomes, and they are hand-placed and handcrafted by the designers. In
Sorry, it's
Stars
Old Man
Reach,
Observer.
biomes emerge organically out of the simulation. It is cold up here because we are way up
Whoa!
here. Watch out, because there are cliffs all around you. You could go flying off and land very, very painfully below.
It's just checking fall damage is all.
Yeah, I did.
I'm checking to see if I run into someone else, if I'll push them around.
I don't think it doesn't look like there's player collision.
No,
Is that? Yeah.
That's because the griefing from player collision.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I already have a camp somewhere and I want to place a new one, how do I do that? Or do I have to wait for that one to despawn?
You gotta wait for it to despawn, or you can dismiss it, but only while you're there.
Oh, okay. So you could dismiss when you're moving somewhere else. You could dismiss your camp.
When you're moving someplace else,
Yeah.
you tear down base camp.
Can
And
somebody drop a camp?
there is one up here.
Yeah, I dropped one.
Okay, so why go over here?
Yeah. You might notice that we have some other folks here who aren't part of our group. They are, we have an open playtest session happening right now. So playtesters who are in our pre-alpha are actually hanging out here with us. I don't know if any of them are watching the stream, but if they are, they should say hi in game.
So if I just stored my life in the camp,
Yep.
hypothetically, I could go fling myself off the edge of the cliff and I'll be.
Yes, you could.
Okay. Just hypothetically.
Hypothetically, the tall edge is the one to my left.
Now, what happens when, let's say, if Redbeard Flynn decided to fling himself off of the edge and ended up being killed before going to that camp and saving?
So they are going to potentially leave a hole in the ground. That's the first thing. And I mean that literally. They can potentially leave a hole in the ground. Impact physics. What can I say? But beyond that, they're going to end up leaving behind basically a little blue glowy ghost that is waving, asking for help. And any other player in the game can come up to them and revive them. So it's another way in which we encourage players to be social, even if they don't know each other. You can help people in a whole bunch of ways, right? If nobody is around to help you, you have a couple of choices there. You can return to your last camp, or you can return to kind of the base landing zone for the planet.
So is that the world station would be?
That would be the world station. That's the base landing zone. Yeah. And eventually that'll be the place where your ship dropped you when you landed on the planet.
Okay.
Right? Right now, it's the building that we all came in on, where the portal was. Now, anything that you picked up since you last checkpointed is going to remain behind in this little glowy yellow grave marker. So, yeah, we brought back corpse runs, but if you are a diligent checkpointer, then a corpse run may have 0 impact on it, right?
Almost like a save, like a quick save.
It's a save. It's a quick.
Yeah.
It's literally
Yeah.
a quick save. We just stole the mechanic from console game. That's literally what it is.
Let's go to desert while we talk. Let's go to desert. And
Okay.
let's do it. And let's do it the fun way. Everybody run off the edge of the cliff. Woohoo! Yeah, baby.
Which way does it matter?
The tall way.
I'm just gonna fall and die.
And then when you die,
Oh.
click
There we
world
go.
station.
Yep, and I am seeing that waving of the character. My character has sort of that aura or that glow and has that injured status and then sort of waving for help. And I think that's really sort of cool. Especially considering that my body's in tall grass and hard to see, but the hologram of my character waving is above that.
Come
I
on
think
up to
that's
the
really
roof of
cool.
Come on up to the roof of the station, and then we'll go over to the desert world.
Okay, so we just use the portal.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, so when we spawn, we need to say the one
World
option.
station.
world station.
Use
yep.
the world station. Yeah.
Okay, I'm there.
Wait for you in space.
So
So
the space flight is so cool.
one of my viewers asked it seems that this is a more sociable MMO than what we've seen in current MMOs in you guys wanting player interaction. Is that correct?
Yes, but we are working hard to not force the interaction. Right? When people talk about old school MMOs feeling more social, and really in some ways the tipping point was actually clear back at World of Warcraft. WoW was the first fully soloable game, and it was fully quest led is part of why, right? It led you through quests through the entire leveling process. Making things really soloable like that does open up your market, right? Lots of people are uncomfortable with having to meet people, make friends. You know, it takes a while. This is why nobody likes pickup groups, right? Like they're scary. So our philosophy is we need to provide gameplay mechanics that are low trust, where you can engage with people, but if you don't trust them or don't know them, you have virtually no risk, right? And that's a really core philosophy for us. Some of the kinds of things that we're doing, you know, anybody can run up and revive you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean, you know, there's no commitment there. There's no, hey, you must engage in the key exchange of being in a party together or any of that stuff. So there are others. We're going to do things like soft grouping, which is an idea we're stealing out of Realm of the Mad God, which was a really cool 2D MMO for anybody who never saw it, where a lot of the benefits that you usually get from grouping up happen just from standing near other people. And they are just passive benefits, like slightly increased XP gain or healing rates and things like that. Then we are also including, watch out, there's a shark hiding in the cave there.
Man shark.
Yeah.
Well, let's kill
we're
him.
Also,
Wait, what show? Where?
yeah, there's a sky shark through this cave right here. Watch out. We're also including a lot of the benefits that are usually in grouping up. We have a leadership profession with squad leaders. And a lot of those benefits that require the more complex interactions like formal groups and whatnot are actually in that profession. So squad leaders have a banner that they can raise. That is their tool. That is how you formally join groups and things like that. So yeah, just we're trying to be super thoughtful and conscious of social game design here.
I really like the idea that you're taking that soft grouping idea, because the first time I saw that was in Warhammer Online.
Public
they did
Quest.
a soft grouping thing when you go and do these world boss fights. The system would automatically sort of put you in this soft group where you can see other players' health on the side as you fought these bosses together, and then as soon as you left the area, it naturally disbanded the group. And I found that gameplay mechanic very fun.
Good. We're not shy about stealing, man.
Will there be hard groups, like just the
Yes.
groups as we normally think of? Is there a limit
Yes.
to the number of people in a group?
Yes.
There will be a limit for sure. We would like to have groups that are large in the way that Galaxies had large groups. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do around group coordination when you get big groups.
Mhm.
The kinds of things that we want to put in the squad leader track are not just formal grouping, but things like formations, things like called shots where they can call targets, and if people hit the target within a window, or if they're in the right formation location at the time, then you can deal additional damage or have special effects, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that we can do to make that a fun. Leading a group should feel like its own form of gameplay that you can get better at, right?
Well, let me just throw another angle, because there's another game. I don't want to mention other games' names, but there doesn't seem to be a group limit. If there is, people don't seem to hit it. And the thing I've noticed is you go to somebody's stream, they don't mind to throw you an invite, and so then you get a marker and stuff like that, and you can meet up with them. You can still kind of do your own thing, but there's a sense of you can do stuff together or find out where you're at, and it's actually kind of cool. It's always frustrating to be, whatever your group limit is, that you can't add that next person to go into it because everybody wants to get together. MMOs are massive, so let's have as big a group as possible, even if you're not in the same place.
Yeah,
Well-
I would call that a different kind of group personally, but yes.
Yes.
Guild.
Yes.
Yeah, in games like Guild Wars 2 for like the boss fight, like everybody can join up and there's like a big mass as many can fit on a map to do the group do the fight, and everybody gets their own loot, and there's not really a group involved unless people coordinate it beforehand. So sometimes you can have just big concerted efforts without like a set party, and that can be fun too.
I do want to clarify, this is not guild, so unless you plan on having waypoints, but you have a communication channel, you have waypoints, know where they're at. There's certain, it's not guild concept, it's a group concept. There's just no real limit to it.
Yeah, I would how to phrase this. There are a bunch of mechanics that are proximity based.
Yeah.
For party membership. That will probably have to be limited, in part just because the sheer volume of UI to juggle can get ridiculous, right? And because there's performance implications to managing stuff in close proximity. Having a looser relationship, like you probably don't need to see health bars and status information and all of that kind of thing for somebody who's halfway across the world in order to have a waypoint and feel like you're part of that group.
Yep.
So yeah, I would break it into tiers, basically. The kind of stuff that I'm talking about for squad leader is more the moment-to-moment party coordination.
Yeah.
So
Very interesting.
I have a viewer that asked another question. I know that you covered that there's going to be, the dancers and entertainers and stuff like that. They're wanting to know about what you guys are doing to encourage exploration of other planets and other areas of space.
Yeah, so exploring is actually a track of its own. And that's actually where the ranger and scout type abilities are centered, right? These camps that people are making, that's ranger capabilities. There is a tool that all of you got called the Pathfinder that should be in your inventory. If you pull that one out, that actually opens up an exploration game of surveying the planet, running around. You should be seeing these red diamonds. You can now run up and click on the diamonds and turn them green.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go to
And,
the camp, change it.
Yeah, you might need to go into camp and get the Pathfinder if you don't have it. Think of this as playing planet scale Pac-Man, okay? And what you're doing is you gather up all of these diamonds. As you gather them, these are going to turn into scraps of the planetary map.
Oh, okay.
And then you can craft those
there we go.
together and sell the map to other players. That is actually how you end up with a mini map. You might have noticed there is no mini map available by default. An unexplored world, until somebody maps it, there's no way to have a map for it. The players are going to be building your mini maps, and you're going to have to buy the mini maps from them.
Very interesting.
And further, because the world can change, the maps may become obsolete. You might be following an out-of-date map. Get there and discover, oh no, the world has changed since this was mapped. So exploration is meant to be a full progression track of its own. I just looked at the time. It has flown.
It has flown. I was curious if you could, or if I don't know if you guys have it mapped out yet, how you guys exactly want it to work. But Star Wars Galaxy's crafting system was so loved by so many. Like every time you go on Reddit and you check the MMORPG subreddit, and a thread comes up with what's the best MMO for crafting, Star Wars Galaxies is always at the top. So how is crafting going to work exactly in Star Wars Reach? Is it going to be very similar? Is it there going to be some differences, or?
I would say it's about 95% similar. We are doing all the things around varying stats, resources on every planet. The same iron on one planet is not the same as iron on another planet. All of that stuff with varying stats is there. We're actually adding a whole bunch of intricacy because we have the simulation. So obviously you've seen harvesting and mining and all of that kind of thing. That applies just as much to the wood from the trees and the qualities of the different plants and so on. All of that also varies planet to planet. But now we have renewable versus non-renewable resources. So it is possible to mine all the iron from a planet out, and then you won't have any left on that world, which is a reason to go exploring and find new planets. But the organic resources, those you might tend and farm them. And so we've got farming and all of the rest as profession tracks too, right? So I would say the only simplification that we're doing relative to Galaxies is that it had too many digits of precision on the stat. And we're going to simplify that down a little. I think Galaxies did 4 digits plus a decimal point.
Yes.
That actually bloated the database to an unreasonable degree. We can't afford to do that. Galaxies couldn't afford to do that. So we're going to be simplifying that down to 3 digits of precision, which is still billions of combinations, right? Like we're not worried about the variety there.
What about the different types of qualities? Because I did like, flavor, conductivity, things like that.
All there.
Cool.
So,
I think people are going to be really happy to hear that.
So I had one question to just kind of like, because you're talking about social and everything like that, and it's interesting because you mentioned Ultima Online, and I'm a huge fan of social MMOs, but Ultima Online being my first MMO, I was extremely antisocial in Ultima Online because I worried that everyone would murder me, so I ran away from people. I know there's going to be PvP in this game, but I believe in the announcement it was talking about planet rule sets, and so would you be able to like stumble upon a PvP planet, or in like, I mean, it's all gonna be player created, like, so like maybe arenas created by players, all kinds of stuff like that. So how are you addressing the PvP versus PvE side of the things as well?
So the end game for a planet is players move in, they build on it. In fact, those of you who are still near the desert camp, you look up on the hills right above the desert portal, those are player houses. They came here, they staked a homestead claim. Okay, you could actually do that by upgrading your camp into a house. As players move in and establish homestead claims, the planet becomes eligible to have a government. That government of the people who have established their homesteads there You can only be a citizen of one planet, and the citizens decide the way the government goes and who the politicians are who run the planet. And they have the ability to set laws, like who is allowed to PvP here? What are the tax rates for player-run shops? Who is allowed to dump the hoppers where? Where are roads going in between our buildings? All of those kinds of things become things that the politicians can set. And it's one of the benefits. There is a lot of reasons why we didn't go with a seamless map. Boundary conditions are the bane of PvP systems, right? So having really bright boundaries between different worlds is one of the ways in which we can insulate people who do not want PvP from, from getting ganked. But if players prefer old school Feluca, they can do that. They can set up their planet to work that way. And then players will vote with their feet.
I apologize, Raph, but we need to give ourselves a little bit of time to say goodbye because we've got a meeting in a couple of minutes here.
I was going to say that we ought to show the city on the jungle because that conveys kind of what that end game can look like.
Well,
Good finale.
I was speaking to Rick, and we're going to leave the servers open for another hour. So if people want to continue to stream after we're not here, that's perfectly fine. So we'll leave the servers open for another hour, and you can do what you want. And let's try to head to Jungle if you want to.
How about
Jungle?
I think we can.
Yeah, let's. We could summon everybody to the port. Anybody who's not or has wandered in the desert. If you need a summon back to the portal.
I see a portal. Is there always just one portal? On
right now, there's just one. But
okay.
Anybody, if you give me your character name, I can teleport you here.
Let me go. Controlled Chaos. I think you found Sky Sharks.
I think I did. I found a bunch.
I was gonna go help you, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I do have a shield. I've been in the beta for alpha for a while.
Okay.
Wow. I just saw this player base of someone building a diamond in space.
That's what I'm looking at now too.
This thing looks cool with the material they chose because there's a metal sheen to this. And the fact that I can land on it and walk on it. Oh, that's epically cool. And I can tell
that's a player built building.
Yeah, I'm noticing.
Yeah, so you can build in space. Is this there's what looks like a spaceship. So a player has built this over here.
Yes.
But it's just like a building that looks like a spaceship right now.
That's right.
Yeah, isn't that what Dave built before we even had homesteads?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are there any stragglers on the desert, or can I follow now?
I'm in space.
All right, I'm heading to space.
I'm in space.
We're in space.
We can actually, as soon as everybody's in space, we could just summon them to that portal as well, and save people the fly time. Except both Dave and I are at the other portal, so we need to fly to.
Which way did I go?
No, we're at the correct portal.
Oh, did you just summon me? I was going to say, let's go to the jungle portal and summon everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Not me following somebody.
Yes.
I think we're gonna summon to the jungle portal.
Right. Why can I not fly?
Oh no! I just flew smack into a horde of enemies.
All right. I don't know where you all went.
It's okay, we'll get you.
Yeah, basically, if you follow the asteroid belt, it's at the other end of the asteroid belt, but we'll fly there and then teleport you over.
Okay, sounds good. Space is really pretty. One of my favorite games of all time is Outer Wilds.
Yes.
And
great
just
game.
getting some of those vibes. That game gave me an existential crisis at the end of that game. So, in the best way possible.
I'm going to start summoning names I remember. Circella.
Oh, I got pulled. There we go.
It's controlled chaos.
I got pulled.
Okay. What is it? Homesteading?
Big homesteading fan.
Big homesteading fan. Okay.
Yeah.
That
I'm actually on jungle already.
Oh, you're already there. No wonder.
Yeah,
Anybody
so I was
else
just
still
like-
in? Anybody lost in space?
Zoning into jungle right now.
Yep.
Da, 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 da,
I want to see this.
Oh,
All right,
Oh,
Old Man
wow.
Observer, you want to head in there?
Oh.
Okay, we're the portal.
Yep.
Whoa.
Anyone
Okay.
else still lost in space?
Wow.
Don't
No?
know. I just crashed.
Oh,
And that's to be
Ooh, I
expected
did
because
too.
because
I
this
crashed
is
as well.
pre-alpha, so anyone expecting a game still under development not to have crashes or bugs, sorry here.
So is there like gravity and physics for buildings or not right now?
not right now, but there will be.
Okay.
Structural integrity will matter for everything.
Okay.
So, of course, we landed in the middle of a fight.
Oh, I ran away. Sorry. I see bombs going off in the distance, though.
Still loading,
What
but
does
I'm
this say?
hearing the combat. Okay.
Yeah.
Beanstalk.
So, all right.
City.
The minute it gets peaceful, just come up to the edge near the Christmas tree and look down at what other players have wrought.
Wow, I've never seen
Oh.
this before. Whoops.
I just hit the hole.
This is nice. This reminds me of like Star Wars Galaxies, but more customized.
And landmark. EverQuest
Yeah,
landmark.
Landmark was another good one.
Wow, this is so
Beanstalks.
cool. I had been so focused on my desert planet and never came to see Mayor Beanstalk's amazing jungle city.
Yeah, so this is an effort that's coordinated by someone named Beanstalk Head, and they are acting unofficially as the mayor. People have
Well-
set up their homesteads. Beanstalk laid out the pattern of the streets to
Oh, wow.
suggest where things should go, and I cheated a little and helped pave the roads. If you come down the mountain carefully, don't die.
Floating.
I was gonna say I don't want to alarm anybody, but gravity's broken here.
Some slightly floating homes. It's amazing.
This looks awesome. This is amazing.
I'm looking at a fountain here. Is this a player-made fountain?
I made the fountain. It is done all with player-capable tools except for one thing. We
These
currently
little
don't
roads.
let players drop water everywhere. Partly because I have successfully flooded this city under a yard of water myself. And we had to do like dredging mud from basements and everything.
Oh wow.
Because the simulation does that, right? So yeah, this is mostly a player-made fountain except for the water. Beanstalk has been building a town hall. That's the one with these cool glass columns here.
Okay. Yeah.
If you go past the town hall, you'll see there's some rocky stairs up to a gazebo. I threw that together. It overlooks. It's over a little crater lake. You could just explore this area for quite some time. It sounds like we're going to leave you here to explore Beanstalk City and the jungle world of Gaiamar and all the builds that players have made. This is, what a world can grow to as players take over the planet and really make it their own. For those of you who want to go exploring and the like, there is a giant lava open crater to go find. I highly suggest doing that. This planet is a fun one to play with the Pathfinder. One last observation for the building. You might notice we have object prop style building, which is the nice looking meshes. We have Minecraft style block building that will be upgrading to be more enshrouded style over time, but you can see that the two of them are used in tandem. You can do both. You can also do terraforming style building, where you actually reshape the ground. You can learn how to spit stuff out, pave the pavement, build rock columns and all of that. Most of these buildings here actually have carved out basements,
Wow.
and more.
Amazing.
So we're just about at time. I wish we'd had more time to just answer questions from your viewers too, but we are always available in the Discord. We hope people really enjoyed this first look at Stars Reach. You couldn't tell we're really passionate about what we're making. We think that this really changes not just MMOs, but even aspects of how games are made. We didn't even touch on the technology here in much detail, but this simulation, imagine what it will do in the future when we can run it at 10 centimeter or 1 centimeter level instead of just 1 meter, and worlds are completely realistic. That's the kind of thing that this unique tech of ours unlocks, right? Malleable worlds, the ability for players to really affect things, everything persistent, all the depth of the classic sandbox MMOs made accessible, we hope, in a way that really works for the modern gamer. That's our goal, because MMOs need a shakeup, in our opinion, and that's what we set out to do. I do apologize as you explore. You'll get stuck in the mud. All the muddy locations are from when I flooded the world earlier.
It does
You'll
slow
notice
you down. It's
it
cool.
will slow down your movement. Your boots will be stuck in the mud. So there you go. Thanks so much for your time. I'm sorry I have to drop off, but I hope this
Thank
was
you for
fun.
having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you
We
very much.
appreciate it.
This was epic, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.
I,
All right, I'm gonna hop off.
I am really liking this.
That's a wrap.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, I have that off. I'm gonna keep on, and I'm gonna play around. Any of you have anything that you'd like to see specific, or any questions I might be able to answer by trying to play around? Ooh. Love the blend on. Really. Hexstone. Okay, I've never seen that texture before. This cobblestone. Clearly different types of payment, because see, there's soil, key soil, and we have our being stuck in mud. What's this? This is paved dirt. And the way I'm doing this is I have the terraformer out, and I am on prospecting. And then every time I left click, it's popping up what we have. Oh, there's the mud. I think. Dude. Wow. That's really cool. I like the fact that it's affecting how I walk. Let's explore around some more. There's a big building over here. Someone's building here. I love that they have jump cuts, which is holograph meshes, which is, I think, is a really cool idea, because then they don't have to get precise with, you know, oh, the flight's too floaty or anything like that. They could literally say, well, no, it's a graph mesh. It's not an actual jetpack. Basement here. Actual different colored lights. That's cool. Looks like they dug out an area here and they got nice and flat here. Cool. Yeah, I'm waiting to see how players can fully interact with the world and adjusting the world. I know that there is terraforming in. So as you can see, I have extracting, terraforming, chronophase, and chronophase is what allows me to switch the type of ground. Like you just saw the texture change underneath me. Now, back to prospect. So yeah, this is now coal. I've changed that. The ground I did that on is heat. I think that's really cool. So, like for instance, if I go over here to the skirt, let's no facing. But let's check out this over here. What's this? This is limestone. Happen. Just turn dark. Nice. So right now, from what I've seen, there's just animal mobs, so no enemy factions. And from what Raph Costner was saying, is for the most part, NPCs will be creatures. There may be a few NPCs that are actual characters, but they're mainly, they want players to sort of run into the whole thing. So we'll see what happens in the future. All right, skyscraper over there. I want to go check that out. Oh wow, that reaches far. That's cool. Building something here, and I liked how this mixes together well. And they've done a mix here. Have endurance at the very top of their area. Oh, they made a little light. It's like a lighthouse. Another different light here. Okay, that's cool. So I'm gonna take a quick break to stretch. Get back to a place where there we go. Okay, I think I will be safe here. I'm gonna go AFK for a few minutes to Okay, I am back. Let's. Yeah, how players run it, I think, is gonna be really interesting. Like we have a mine shaft over here. Blocked it off. Some mining over here. This big, huge chasm. I'm taking some fall damage. Back out. Someone did a lot of digging here. Or I wonder if this is left over from someone doing something else. Let's see. There are a bunch of other tools as hit not K. Y here. There we go. This tool here. Let me show that off. This, I believe, is gathering regular resources. We have this mushroom over here. Go ahead and harvest this mushroom. Get things like, oh, we're getting more than just mushrooms. Getting ammonia and stuff like that. That's really cool. Reach the core of the planet. I wonder what it would be like to hit the core of the planet. Mushrooms here. No ammonia, but I like that they have different models for mushrooms, different sizes. Find. Cool, I haven't made that I need to play around with. Hope I have to looking for is make botany. Okay, I need to get the forestry skill. So I need to do more botany stuff, which is what the tool I have out now gets me. Heck here. Let's see. My botany is at 85 right now. Leave botany. And that's dealing with plants. Okay, gaining some experience there. Gained 3 experience. Should have gone up. Yep, 3 points. So botany, just by gathering those mushrooms, gotten that. Nothing left on that. I'm really waiting for them to get to the point where this gravel will turn back to dirt and stuff like that. That'll be really interesting to see when they get that gameplay mechanic in. Seeing the world evolve, new mountains form, and stuff like that, just based off of what players do. So, new species, that I don't know about. I know that in Star Wars Galaxies there was a skill that allowed you to do bioengineering. So I wonder if they're going to do bioengineering in this game too, because if they do, you can make some really interesting creatures. I wonder how all that would work. Let's be Oh, I'm getting lemons. So I can get lemons from these lemon trees. That's cool. Anything? I can get bananas. Okay. Now the question is, if I get forestry, can I make banana trees and lemon trees? That'd be a cool thing to be able to do. Okay, so let me show that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quit. And right now in the game, let me bring it back up. Right now in the game, they have 4 races. And those races, let me go ahead and create a new character. You have a regular human called Terran, male and female. You have the Sasquatch, which is male and female. You have the Trent, which is what I'm playing, male and female. And then you have the alien, which are like cat people, male and female. They do not have customization in the characters, like different heads and stuff like that yet. They say that they do want to get that in there. And that, you know, so you'll be able to choose things like that. And I think that's going to be really cool. Early stages, it just sort of randomly choose, you know, selects your body type and stuff like that. And that constantly changes because right now, they're wanting to check and make sure that all of the clothing will work for the different body sizes and that there's no major clipping errors and stuff like that. So every time you log in, you're the race you choose, but your body style will always change. Some thin, some bigger, and stuff like that. And we'll make sure that everything works well. Because as stated, this is in pre-alpha. Where am I? Okay, I got enough there. So now I just need to find a good area. Find. Huh? Yeah, all these little beacons that you're seeing here, this is someone's homestead property. Place this here. And if I hit K, go to my botany, unlock forestry. Now that I've unlocked the forestry, you saw that a bunch of stuff just popped off for make. I look in here, I have this new tool here. And I can click here. Oh, I don't have enough tier 3 metals. I need to get tier 3 metals. So, I need to do go 4. Prospecting mode. See, I'm hitting E to cycle through things. Looking for the right type. Travel. Dirt. Salt. Times. Marble. Quartz. Soil. Red soil, because what I'm doing is I'm looking right here. I'm just hitting my E and Q. Peat, mud, There we go. I think that's one of the ones. We'll check again. Yep, that's what I need. Switch to the extractor. Again. Look around and find green. I want to look below you too, because you never know where that's going to pop up. Not seeing any. I think that's one thing UI wise that they need to work on. Some kind of indicator that would point you in the direction of where it is. I'm gonna make that suggested. Over. That's cool. OG. Let me try a. There's the beat. There's where I need to go. So what I'm gonna do is this port here. Oops. That'd be cool. A drone that seeks out the minerals for you would be. Called Fine. I think if I remember Like that you can land on the small asteroid. Fly around and fly over. Oh, made a floating base over here. Bugs, stuff that would eat the resources. Yeah, well, excuse me. The game right now, the way it's set up, is the creatures can actually affect the world. Do things that are interesting. Such as you see this guy here fighting this, you see the fire going off. Oh. Off. Him. Go. Switch to a different. Not finding me. So, what plant we go to, and of course, get. Up again. Destroying. Hey, that native wildlife attacked me first. In sand area. Oh, expecting. Only 3 found nearby of chromium. So a little bit. Nope, not close. Oh, that's a good reach. Nice. I thought there's glass here. Saying 3 here. Can't find what I'm looking for. Sound effects are nice for the grappling. I love when walking on sand. It has a good, nice sound to sand. And it got different when I changed. Nice. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Let's try the temperate world. Hey, welcome to the stream. Yeah, the jetpack is really good. They actually call it grav mesh, which I think is a good move on their part. And I like the fact that, you know, it affects the way you move around in space, the way you move around in regular world, and that uses endurance. Like while I'm here, it uses endurance because I'm affecting gravity. But in space, it doesn't do anything because in space, there is no gravity. Let's see. Cool oil, okay. That one. 4 units. Yeah, everything has been dug up. I think me getting metal to be able to get the foresters is gonna be a bit. But campsite near this. I can go back to this main area because this landing area that we just got onto, this has there. Kind of the chromium. I have enough regular metal. I have enough plastic. So, back to the jungle. Huh? There we go. Yeah, I had good fun time with the developers. I like how, what they're planning on doing, that they want to make this a very sociable game and people working together, that they have a bunch of gameplay mechanics to do that. The fact that players can actually own planets and make rule sets for that planet, I think is a really cool. Nope, and once again, another crash, but hey, I may be getting crashes, but that dialog box that you're seeing that's popping up is basically sending a crash report to the developers so that they can find out what's causing it to crash. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing what else they put in the game, and how things evolve. I want to see what would happen if they have like an actual like dead world where there's no life and players terraform it and make it a livable environment. What kind of creatures would populate? That'd be interesting to see. Down the desert planet. I want to go to the jungle planet. Because the center one is what takes us to the I guess in No Man's Skies, you a pleasant planet. Paradise planet. Or as they call it here, a lush planet. Because they have the lush planet, jungle planet, and they have a desert planet. They're just testing. Those planets have only been around for like a month. Planets have actually only been this iteration used for the last couple weeks. Yeah, nonsense like the Borg. Maybe. I mean, what I'm also waiting to see happen is I'm waiting to see players turn the whole entire planet into sort of like a Coruscant planet where it's nothing but, and that's all that the planet is. That would be very, very interesting. Okay, on Jungle Planet now. Bring up this tool. Oh my. chromium. 13 found. For the magnetite. 5. Everything's pretty much been dug up. Yeah, so I think once they actually get the evolution of like this gravel turning into dirt and stuff like that, we'll be able to get more resources, plus having more planets. And the political system put into where they can make laws and things like that. Probably not going to be able to make the foresting device show that. Really wanted to show that off. I don't think that's going to happen until they reset the. You know what? They're planning on doing a reset after Christmas break. So, because there's another test planned tomorrow at 10 a.m. part of getting footage of that. So yeah, and that's the great thing about the whole entire political system and being able to control what people can do on planets is you can take a planet, you can go, I want people to be able to do this on this planet and make rules. So like Raph Costner was mentioning, if you want to have a planet that's all anarchy and chaos, you could have PvP enabled on that planet. And so players would be able to attack each other and stuff like that freely. And I think that's what makes things interesting, is that the players get to choose when they govern a planet what happens on that planet. So we're going to see a variety of different planets. You could see, one planet where you're able to harvest to your contents and they decimate the planet. There could be another planet where there be rules where, hey, you're only allowed to harvest so many trees. You're only allowed to harvest so much of this metal and stuff like that. And they keep things within control and confines. I think that's going to be interesting. How those policies are enforced is another question. Wish I still had the developers here, because that's a good question I'd like to ask the developers, is how are the rules that the players put on these planets going to be enforced? Is it by the players, or is there going to be some kind of NPC faction thing that enforces rules? Yeah, exactly. War world or a peaceful world, it's all up to the players. Oh yeah, having variety is really, really good. And I think that's where having the players being able to control things like that will add variety, because each player is going to want to do things differently. No player is going to want to have be doing the same thing. And so you're going to have some warlike worlds. You're going to have some peaceful worlds. You're going to have some worlds that are in between. And that's really important. And that's going to be interesting to see. Oop. Ooh. There. Oh wow, look at this. Someone used bricks and actually spelled out Bean Talk City. That's cool. And I like that it's different sized letters. It's very creative, but it's still very readable. That's cool. Oh yeah, and that's a great way to replay games. You play one character good, one character evil, one character neutral, in different ways. And that's really, really nice. I'll play games where, ooh, here's something interesting. Work. Duck. There we go, and then it exploded on me. So what he's actually supposed to do, okay, there's one. Okay, so there's a free roaming jackalope. And he just disappeared. I'll find a jackalope and show you guys what happens with jackalope. There's one. Oh, that one didn't do it. Some of these jackalopes can actually turn into vicious rabbits and they will suicide bomb you. See, like right there. Vicious rabbit, but because he's stuck in the train, he can't suicide bomb you. I had better, not such harsh terrain. I think that's another thing that they need to work on within this testing is get it so that the mobs don't get stuck like that as well. They have to work more on the pathing. But I like the fact that they're putting in sort of that Mighty Pythons type feel with the suicide vicious rabbits. That they run towards you, float. I think that's cool. But anyways, they're probably going to shut down the servers real soon. Because they said that they'd give us an hour. Had our hour. Oh, I like that grappling. Oh, ran out of stamina, so I can't climb anymore. There we go. I like that grappling. When you grapple to a wall, you don't just hit the wall and slide down. You actually go into a climb status. Oh. Back to here. Let's get this. So I'm going to call this for the stream. I am going to check and see if I can continue doing other live streams when they do other play tests. If that's been lifted, because right now, the last I've heard is before this last day, you were unable to live stream. We could only do videos, comments on. In the future, after this, we're live streaming now. I want to thank you guys all for watching and have a great